All right, say down to Kyle Field. Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M. Texas A&M comes in at 6.5-point favorites, 3:30 on ESPN. Just a brutal scheduling draw for Auburn. I mean, I can't even. They're still reeling from that 2026 to 2029 SEC schedule coming out, and they feel like they got screwed again. I mean, this is it's just awful, man. They go on the road to play Oklahoma last week. They get absolutely, we'll say it, screwed by the refs. And then you got to go on the road to Kyle Field against a team that had a bye last week, who's in the top 10. I mean, that's tough. That's tough for any team. I mean, Auburn's a really good team this year. That's going to be tough for them. For Auburn, can they hit some of those shots that they took last week? We talked about them taking shots down the field, especially to Cam Coleman, who, I mean, he's a really tough guy to guard. He's going to be tough for especially that A&M secondary to guard. Can they hit some of those? Because they hit some last week, but Arnold, I mean, he missed a couple. There was a couple that he missed that really could have changed that game. Arnold's also got to be able to do more than just that. And he's also got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, he's got a problem right now, man, with the one read. He takes his first read, and if it's not there, he just sits there and, like, if the run is not there, he just holds it.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing against Oklahoma. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like, he either needs to one or the other. Like, if he can't go through his reads, he just needs to try to be an athlete and take off. And the biggest difference to me in Oklahoma, the two biggest differences in this game for Auburn on this, like, as far as the difference in team from A&M and Oklahoma, is Oklahoma is elite along their defensive front and along their, like, just overall their front and 7, which is why they had like double-digit sacks against Auburn. A&M is, I mean, they're solid along the defensive front, and they've got Cassius Howell, who's one of your better pass rushers in the SEC. But overall, as a defensive front, they're just not. They're nowhere near as good as Oklahoma.
They're not going to overwhelm you.
No, they're not. Like, they're not going to dominate you in the running game. They're not going to overwhelm you overall, period, whether it be tackles for a loss in the run game or sacks getting after you in the passing game. The biggest difference, though, is Oklahoma's offensive line is not very good. Again, it's definitely better than what it was last year. A&M's offensive line might be the best in the SEC, the Maroon Goons. I mean, they brought back all 5 starters. They had 2 or 3 other guys that had started significant amount of games so far at the P4 level at A&M. So, I mean, they're really good along their offensive line. And Auburn did a really good job, in my opinion, of, like, they did a good thing. Now, I know Mateer broke his hand and stuff, like, apparently at the 9-minute mark in the first quarter. Amazing that he still played. But still, Auburn was able to get some pressure on him. And we've seen Marcel Reed so far. When he has time and he's got a clean pocket, he can light you up with those receivers. But when the pocket starts collapsing a little bit and they starts getting pressure, those feet get a little happy, and he's not as accurate. I mean, he's overall, like, his, like, completion percentage and stuff's not great.
It's like 58%.
Yeah, it's not good. But
I think he was under 50 against the Notre Dame game. They just had so many big shots, and honestly, they weren't deep shots. If you watch that game, crossing patterns to Mario Craver, and Craver taking 80 yards to the house.
Well, dude, as a team, they right now, as a team collectively, they're averaging like 8 yards after the catch as a team, and Mario Craver is like, dude, it's ridiculous. It's like around 20 yards per, like, after the catch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And you're right. Like, you said it best after the Notre Dame game. Nobody upgraded a certain position group in the offseason through the transfer portal better than what A&M did their wide receiver core. That's the biggest difference with this year's A&M team and past year's A&M teams that everybody wants to sit there and say 8-4 A&M. This A&M team's different. They've got better wide receivers. They're better along their offensive line. The issue's been, which side of the ball we didn't think would be an issue for them, it's been that defense, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they've done in the past 2 weeks with that bye. They're not going to fix that defense, I don't think, but, like, what have they done to where they can just touch it up a little bit and just kind of get through week to week on that defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I agree. But so Auburn's defense, they've got to be able to stop the run. They've got to, man. Like, I know in any game, of course, you need to stop the run, but, like, they've got to be it, because, like, we know Le'Veon Moss and Amari Daniels and Reuben Owens and that running game, even with Marcel Reed in the running game, with that offensive line, they're going to want to run the football. And then Yeah.
You get inside the 5-yard line, and Le'Veon Moss, you give the ball 3 times, like, he barely has carries where he loses yards. So,
Yep.
you get him inside the 5-yard line with that offensive line, like, very likely gonna be a red zone touchdown.
And see, I do think Auburn's defense is talented enough and good enough to keep them in this game. They did it against Oklahoma. I think they can do it in this game too. Uh, they've got to prevent the explosive play with KC Concepcion and Mario Craver, and then they've got to be able to hold their own in the running game. Uh, I just, man, until I see it though, I got to see Jackson Arnold, man. Like, stand back there and make throws, dude. I've got to see it. And up to this point, like, we haven't. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Like, again, he made a couple of decent throws, but like, I was talking to one of my buddies that's a big Auburn fan. I said, "Have you seen him yet drop back?" And he's surveying. Here I am I'm like I'm a quarterback here. It's just surveying the field. Like, he sees
Yeah.
his first read. It's not there. There's a second read. And also, do you ever see him throw a damn thing over the middle of the field?
Nope.
Never. Which normally means that's a quarterback that doesn't trust himself. And the easiest thing to do is just throw it up outside the numbers. And like, that tells me he's not super confident in what he's
Yeah.
doing. Also, Horatio Fields, one of their better wide receivers that so far this year, the transfer from Wake, is like, looks like he's done either for the year or for a while for Auburn. So that's a
Mm.
tough loss. So you're going to see a lot more Malcolm Simmons in
Yeah.
the game. So, last thing, do you think Auburn has success in the running game? Because with the Jackson Arnold problems, they've got to be able to run the football. You're just not going to do that against Oklahoma. Most teams aren't, but I think you can against what we've seen so far from A&M. Like, I think Auburn can run the football against them because I do like Auburn's offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I think Notre Dame came out obviously with a plan to run the ball after that Miami game, and I think they ran it fairly well, but they contained Love for the most part, and Jadarian Price kind of had a breakout game, but I think they contained their running game for the most part. CJ Carr didn't really run it all. They were trying to do, the Wildcat and all that stuff, but I do think, this is a game where obviously Arnold's got to use his legs. They got to use it early, I think.
Yeah.
And again, it's the same story as last week. I mean, freaking deja vu. You got to take some early shots, try to get that crowd out of the game. Because, like, I don't think Auburn's running game is good enough to run the ball down A&M's throat to take the crowd out of the game. I think you got to take some deep shots because that's where your strength is on the outside with Malcolm Simmons, Perry Thompson, and Cam Coleman. Get some big gains right off the bat to kind of, quiet that crowd down.
And you know how you do that? You got to be able to run the football. If you can run the ball and get that defense where they have to commit more people in the box, then you can start taking some shots.
And some people take shots to set up the run.
That's true. Good point. All right, game pick. Who you got?
I'm going to take A&M to win the game. 6.5. I don't know if I'd touch it right now. I mean, I think Auburn can keep it close for. I mean, they kept it close. If not for a safety, they would have covered last week. We're happy about that safety, right? We had Oklahoma, so
yeah.
But I think same kind of situation. A 3:30 start on the road. Kind of a second. Like a lot of times, when they play back-to-back road games, they're usually not as against teams that are both in the top 10, but back-to-back road games, you kind of figure something out, get your schedule going. It's kind of a familiar thing for those couple of weeks, but I'm just going to play it safe, and I'm going to take A&M to win the game. I'm not going to touch the spread at all. A&M to win the game.
I got you. So from a handicapping standpoint, you alluded to it earlier. What is there anything that sets up better than this? You got a team coming off a bye. Yeah. Auburn playing a tough, physical, hard-nosed game against a really physical team like Oklahoma on the road. I mean, man, they just lost their beloved Bruce Pearl, and they're losing Horatio Fields in the injury. Just not a lot going right for him this week, man. And like, I just don't understand why I wouldn't back Texas A&M minus 6.5 here. And I'm not going to do it. I'm taking A&M to win the game just because I need to see Jackson Arnold prove it to me that he can go on the road in a hostile environment with a ton of pressure on him and actually make enough plays that helps his team win the football game as opposed to being a reason why his team can't win the game. Mm-hmm. Because they're really good around him. The defense is playing well. Wide receivers are making plays down the field. You're running the football well. I need to see QB1 for Auburn make plays to win a game like this against a really good football team in a tough environment. Until I see it, I'm not taking them. So I take A&M to win the game, but it's not a best bet.
It's just loads of content this week, man. I think this is the first time we've done 2 separate preview episodes
Ever.
in 1 week since we've done this podcast, some over 2 years ago. Was a blast. I cannot wait for this weekend. I cannot wait for Saturday. I'm going to really try to negotiate with my wife to be able to, park myself on the couch as much as I can and watch some games. So hope you guys are, we're ready for it too. Hope you guys are subscribed and followed. Obviously, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that. X, Instagram, TikTok. We're always on there. We're going to be pumping out some prediction videos here for the next couple days. Yeah, man, I'm excited for football this weekend. So for Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.